Hi guys, Casey back here. So I don't know why I wanted to bring this story up, but I think it's a great time to bring this up. And I'm going to call it military conspiracy. So something happened while I was at 411th MP Company back in 2005, and I wonder which way this goes. Like there's multiple ways this could go. So apparently I was in the unit, and if the story is told right, there was a gentleman with us named Dono. Now, Dono apparently wasn't actually Dono. I had worked with him 4 to 6 months. He had been in the unit. I believe he actually went to Iraq with the guys. And the story was that Dono was really, really good at getting people's identity, including our first sergeant, which is the craziest part. So they catch him out here hacking people's accounts. This is when hacking was new. We're talking 2006, 2007. And he was getting people's account information. He was hacking their credit cards and, finding a way to get all their information. And as he's getting busted, Chucky, our first sergeant, that's his nickname. That's not his real name. Chucky says, hey, Dono ain't really Dono. And I was like, what the heck? And the only reason I know that is because the head security clearance guy was my sergeant, who I reported to in headquarters. Really good guy. Strick's a good guy. So anyway, he reports it to Strick, and I'm hearing this whole thing like, what? And they're talking about, yeah, Dono's not really Dono. Dono apparently stole the identity of a apparently 250-pound, 6-foot tall white guy. Now, Dono, if you saw him, was about 130, 140 pounds, soaking wet black dude. And apparently Dono had actually gotten in trouble in basic, possibly even had a negligent discharge, and then he went to a recruiter, and a recruiter supposedly helped him out and helped him steal this guy's identity and helped him get recruited. Now, the story was that the recruiter was going to get charged for this, and then Dono was getting kicked out, and not really Dono though, but Dono's persona or his fake name was getting kicked out again. And where the other guy got honorable discharge, the real Dono's probably a good guy, I'm going to say, because he had an honorable discharge. But anyway, so this whole story came out, and then as he's leaving, the craziest thing happens. He apparently tells Chucky, he says, screw you. He's like, I'll steal your identity too. And I tell you what, Chucky got pissed. He was a Vietnam era, and according to all the stories I've heard, the oldest military police officer in the Army at that time. And I don't know. I mean, the war ended in 75. This was 2000 or 74. A few stragglers were there around 75, whatever, embassies and stuff. So, 2007, that's 22 years after. So that gives you an idea of his age. And, then, now that I'm getting older, I start to wonder. Because I Google it and I don't find anything on Dono. I don't find anything on military stolen identity. Usually you Google something like this, you'd see a news reporter, there'd be like some story about it. So now I start to wonder, was Dono actually, did he really steal somebody's identity? Or was Dono a made up name and this was a cover for CID? Because they do that. They'll insert a guy like into basic training, a young guy who's maybe like got his, bachelor's degree. They put him in and he's seasoned enough. They put him in, they give him some undercover credentials, and he goes in and pretends to be a basic training recruit. And they'll bust stuff. Or maybe Dono was there to get confidential information from us to I don't know. I'm curious. I was in, again, 89th MPs. I got out March 20th of 2007. And then I contracted for the next 3 years almost. And it's really weird that I look back at this story and there's nothing on it. So I don't know. Military conspiracy is what I'm going to chalk this up to. Any of you guys got any information on Dono or the fake guy that was Dono? Let me know. I'm curious on where this went and why we can't find information on Google about it. Or maybe the military covered it up. And that's another thing. It's at Fort Hood of all places. So did this even happen? I mean, is this like some weird hallucination I'm having? I don't know. I find it pretty hard because I remember this was an ongoing story for weeks. So I don't think I dreamed this. I'm 99.9% sure this really happened. But at this point, I can't find anything on the news, can't find anything on Google. It doesn't matter where I look. I can't find information on it. And usually, anytime there's something like this that happens, there's some kind of story about it. Or there's a similar behavior or a pattern that happened like it. So, I don't know. Anybody got any answers? Let me know. I figured that was a good conversation starter for lunch. Military conspiracy theory there. Fort Hood, did this happen? Was Dono fake? Was Dono CID? I don't know. And I think it was like DANO or something. It wasn't, Anyway, it was just one of those things I had on my mind and I thought I would talk about. Y'all let me know what you think on this.